2010, when Prophet Hanna did traits, what would a woman who was born to wealth but lived in housing know about traits? Traits in humans. The whole UFT witnessed that in 2010. But what the average person might not know, she was a veteran. She was a veteran. The revenue she generated that was meant for good was actually used for harm. Remember the story of you can't have hot without cold. So UFT witnessed that. What would a woman from housing know about human traits? Don't you want to see the authentic version? Well, today we have a new trait that is correct. You will never believe that. So in 2012, when Hanna tried to go to Howard University, which was a black university, to try to lecture on traits, she was stopped in New York City. When she tried to open up a black corporation, because it's not that she's focused on black, but she was raised by the black community. So it's almost like a natural, like brushing your teeth. You know, you're not going to hire whites when you're amongst a black family. That was also stopped. That corporate was opened in Turkey. So that was stopped. The Howard lectures were stopped. When you stop someone from lecturing like that, that means two things. You're really, 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 really large. And they're reallocating it to different people. But the marketing of the story is very, very simple. And she tells this to intelligence all the time. She doesn't want to be a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 Nadia Comaneci. She doesn't, because she wants people to outdo her. All she's trying to do is present the real, because at least if the world ends the way she suspects it might, because of the noble, you get a chance to see the real part of CIA's abnormal files. So, we have a new trait, and I know for a fact no one in this globe has it. So are you ready? By subscribing, we can do part 2. Should I let you know? Okay, I'm going to let you know what the newest trait on Earth is. When she took her son, remember her son is royally altered, which is devastating from a UNESCO perspective, because he was going to be showcased at Howard. Because remember, if you're shamanic Asiatic native and you marry shamanic Asiatic African, and there's two different types of heritages there, extreme. It changed the course of evolution. The newest trait is as follows. It's the folds that my son has extra inside his throat. Back in the day, probably about 10 million years ago, animals used to store food inside the throat. We are abnormally closer to monkey, and I'm very secure about it, training the militaries once to be secure with many different topics that would have come up in the future. But long and behold, who kept interfering? The devil. Another interesting fact, he has folds in his throat that are a little bit extra that may require his tonsils to be removed. Because if you get food stuck in it, it can create a form of bacteria, and he's immune. It's not like he's a monkey that he's immune to it. He's a human, so it causes infections in his throat. Another entry.